Hi students, welcome back to another video. We're still focusing on verbs and more specifically the conjugation of the verbs in the third person singular. Alright, so we're focusing on the third person singular conjugation of AR, ER and IR ending verbs. But what do we mean by the third person singular conjugation of verbs? Let's look. So we use the third person singular when we want to say he. For example, he runs, he jumps, he sings. Now he in Spanish is L with an accent over the E. We also use the third person singular to say she. So she sings, she jumps, etc. And she is ella. And finally, we use it for when we're referring to persons in authority, for when we want to say you, and that is usted. Earlier, you were introduced to tú, and that also means you. However, we use that with our friends, and usted we use with persons who are in authority, so the polite form. So as previously mentioned, the third person singular deals with he, and he in Spanish is él, but you might not always see L. You can also see the name of a boy, for example, Justin, Malik, Brandon, or Joshua. So if you see the name, you know that it is still the third person singular. Now remember that the third person singular also deals with she, meaning ella. Alright, now you might not always see ella, but you might see the name of a girl. For example, Shakira, Dejanel, Daniel, Tiara, or even Kemisha. So you can see any name of a girl. And then finally, we said that it deals with you, but the polite version, which is usted. You might not always see usted, but you might see Mr. Wholeness, Mr. Right, but just persons who are in authority, so the principal, the prime minister, etc. So this is the third person. Él, ella, usted. He, she, and the you polite. So let us conjugate the verbs. For AR verbs, remove the AR and add an A. For ER verbs, remove the ER and add an E. For IR, remove the IR and add an E. So let's do an example with an AR ending verb. Remember, we're just removing the AR, then we're going to be adding an A. The AR ending verb cocinar means to cook.
Yes, I do the cooking.
So to conjugate cocinar, we're going to firstly remove the AR. When we remove the AR, we get COCIN, cocin. And then we're going to add an A, so we get cocina. Now let's try an ER ending verb. We're going to remove the ER and then we're going to be adding an E. The ER ending verb barrer means to sweep.
Sweep the floor, sweep the floor.
So we're going to firstly remove the ER. When we do that, we get BARR. And then we add an E, so we get barre. Now let us do an example with an IR ending verb. We're going to remove the IR and then we're going to add an E. The IR ending verb descubrir means to discover. So when we remove the IR, we get DESCUBR, then we add an E and we get descubre. So just keep these steps in mind for the third person singular conjugation of verbs. Now you have an activity to complete.
We've got to work.
So this is activity 1. The verbs are there. You have 3 simple sentences. You're going to conjugate the verbs in the third person singular and then you're going to complete the sentences. So you have an AR, an ER as well as an IR ending verb. So just follow the steps and make the sentences and you'll be fine. The second activity will be posted separately and that's it for today. Adios.
Bye 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 bye.